Very good. Very good morning to you all. NaaViC ICAR-NIVEDI welcomes to you webinar session on Entrepreneurial Opportunities in Feed and Fodder by Dr. Vinod Kumar, Principal Scientist, Seed Technology, ICR IGFRI, Dharwad. Now I request Dr. Satish B. Shivachandra, PI CEO NaaViC and Principal Scientist, ICAR-NIVEDI to deliver the welcome address. Please, sir, over to you.
So, very good morning to all of you. And on behalf of Team NaaViC and ICAR-NIVEDI, I welcome all the participants for today's webinar. And I also welcome the today's speaker, Dr. Vinod Kumar, a Principal Scientist from IGFRI. It's our sister institute located in Dharwad. It's a regional station. So, I welcome you, sir, on behalf of Team NaaViC and ICAR-NIVEDI. And I welcome our director, Dr. B.R. Shom. He's a little busy with official work, so he might be joining a little bit later. So on behalf of Team NaaViC, I welcome him also. And I welcome all the staff of NaaViC and all the participants who are joining for today's webinar. And these webinars we have been doing since almost the lockdown when it started. We have been doing, and there are different topics we covered so far. It's ranging from agriculture sector, veterinary science, fisheries, and so on, touching upon the different needs of the entrepreneurial requirements. So in wherever the areas and opportunities are available, so we thought like let's have something that talk from the subject experts so that entrepreneurs can get a benefit out of that. So in this series, so today we have the webinar topic that is entrepreneurial opportunities in feed and fodder. So, and as I already welcome, so once again, I welcome Dr. Vinod Kumar for today's webinar, and welcome you all and wish you happy learning. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Avdish Prajapati, Co-PI NaaViC and Senior Technical Officer, ICAR-NIVEDI, to give a brief introduction about today's speaker.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today, Dr. Vinod Kumar, sir. Dr. Vinod Kumar is presently working as a Principal Scientist, Seed Technology in the Southern Region Research Station at ICR Indian Grassland and Fodder Research Institute, Jhansi, which is located at Dharwad district of the Karnataka. Dr. Vinod Kumar is a well-known scientist for his pioneer work on the seed dormancy, seed pathology, and for the development of the seed standard and the seed quality testing. He has given his best work on the seed science that has been awarded with the Best Scientist Award from the IGFRI Jhansi in the year 2014 and MFSET ICCB Senior Scientist Award in 2014. Dr. Vinod sir has expertise in the seed variety development and he has released 4 seed varieties so far. He has guided 10 PG students and published more than 50 research articles and book chapters. He is a motivational speaker and actively involved in the different scientific society for promotion of seed science and the entrepreneurial opportunity in the agriculture. This is a brief about our eminent speaker. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request the key person, Dr. Vinod Kumar, sir, to deliver the webinar. So please, sir, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very good morning to all. Just I will share the screen. Hope the slides are visible.
Not yet, sir. Just
yeah, I think whether the slides are visible.
no, not yet.
Just
Yeah, it's there.
yeah. Well, good morning to everyone. Firstly, I thank ICAR-NIVEDI for giving me this opportunity to interact with the budding entrepreneurs, what I can say, because in the COVID era, the opportunities in general have reduced in many fields, but agriculture is the one field where opportunities have opened up in a very large scale. As you might have been reading in newspaper, hearing in news, media, and all these things, that everything has affected, but not the agriculture. So just 3-4 months before, I met Dr. Satish Chandra sir when he was in Dharwad, and when I was delivering one lecture in the university for the final year students. So during that period, we discussed about the incubation center and all these things. And today there is an opportunity for me to interact with you on a very, very important topic, very, very gray area where many of these students or the participants who are joining today can certainly make a good career out of it. The topic is very, very broad, that is entrepreneurship opportunities in feed and fodder. Since I am a seed technologist, the major emphasis will be on the the seed production aspect. The remaining aspect, I will just highlight sensitize the audience about the opportunities available in this field. But in the broader sense, I will cover the seed production aspect of this. Before entering into the main topic, just to apprise the audience about the situation where we are. This is how the fact is. India is the largest owner or holder of livestock population in the entire world. We rank first with respect to buffaloes, we rank second with respect to cattle, we rank second with respect to goat, third with respect to sheep, and India is the largest poultry market in the world. This is how we are. But many a time, even though we are producing the largest milk production in the world, many a time our productivity, we rank from bottom of the table in many cases. And also India holds around 18% of world population. So here what I wanted to emphasize here is the load, the population load we have is huge, and which need to be sustained on just 2.3% of geographical area. You can imagine how much the productivity we need to get per unit area, how much load we have, how much is keeping again the availability of resources is very, very important. Just 4% of world freshwater resources are available in India. So imagine the population wise, imagine the land wise, imagine the resources wise, we are very poor. Hence, the resources available, the resources devoted to the livestock population doesn't match. Because of that, our productivity per unit area is quite less. So significance of fodder crops with regards to these significances, just to highlight these significances. So as you all know that the livestock sector contributes around quarter to the agriculture GDP, whereas in overall it contributes around 4% to the general GDP of the country. And most importantly, it provides around 70 to 80% employment to our rural population. As we all know that India is agriculture-based country, and still we are agriculture-based country, and our large population resides in a rural area. And this is the major and majority of, especially in case of the rain-fed area, especially in case of dryland area, the livestock population really helps in sustaining their livelihood. Most often, livestock is the only source of cash and income subsistence farms, and also serves as insurance in case of crop failure or event of crop failure. As you know that the vagaries of weather, there is somewhere the excess rainfall, somewhere scanty rainfall, timely rainfall won't be there. The rainfall which is required for the entire season will come in hardly 1 week or some. There are so many vagaries of nature. Under such situations, the livestock populations are the really backbone of our rural farmers or rural people. And from livestock, we know that we get food in the form of milk, meat, eggs, and the importance of it supplements majority of protein to our population. And it also, apart from this food, it also provides the drought power. Majority of agriculture operations, especially in Karnataka, I tell you, it's still dependent on the drought power of bullocks. And the rural transportation, it's a means of rural transportation in case of the rural areas, transporting the harvested material from land to city area or urban areas. It is a major source of manures. It's a major source of organic manure. We all talk about organic agriculture, and we can't imagine organic agriculture without a livestock component. Fuel, you know that in entire country, the cow dungs and all these dung cakes are used as fuel. and organic matter I have told, and the social security. Even in many cases, the owner of different livestock holdings has a separate status in the society, and their social security is totally different. So this is how the significance of livestock in our country is. With regards to the scenario, coming to the scenario of feed and fodder in our country, livestock rearing is an integral part of our various cropping systems since beginning, since thousands of years. The livestock rearing or livestock cultivation has come hand in hand with the agriculture operations or agriculture field agriculture operations. So however, the total area under fodder crops in our country is just 4% of our geographical area. So the population wise, the land devoted, the resource devoted doesn't match here in, just a minute, sorry. Yeah, here it doesn't match. Just 4% of our land is devoted for the fodder crops in case of, that is cultivated fodder, in case of grasslands or in case of pastures. Including this, just 4% land is allocated. And we might have heard in several meetings, several symposia, anywhere, there is a wide gap between demand and supply. Absolutely, there is no. I will show in next slides how much gap between. There is huge gap. We are unable to reach anywhere near to the demand. So when there is a huge gap between demand and supply, and there is deficiency of feed and fodder, is the major constraints in achieving the desired productivity of our livestock. The feed resources available is just sufficient to mitigate the 40% of the requirement, just 40% of our requirement, livestock holdings requirement or livestock requirement. So with increased, we all have adopted since past 20-30 years. We started adopting pure breeds, cross breeds, high yielding varieties in different animals. So with those animals, adoption of with those animals, there is a lot of pressure on the cultivation or the production of fodder in general and crop residues in general, feed and all these things. So this is the scenario. In general, the gap is too high. Just to show you the situation here, see here, the major sources of fodder in our country is crop residues. It is all agriculture dependent. Whatever crop residues we get from the agriculture field, we use it for as a major food for our animals. Whereas cultivated fodder is hardly 28%, it contributes just 20%. Whereas grassland situation, you all know that majority of our grasslands, majority of our even rural area, locally available grasslands or even Gomana, what we call in Canada, they all are degraded. Hardly we get any fertile or any quantity of fodder from those resources. Whereas with respect to the concentrate feeds, the supply is around 61 million tons, whereas the deficit is 36%, you can imagine here. With respect to the availability of or supply availability of green and dry fodder, with respect to the, you can see the bottom line here represent the green fodder supply, whereas the green line on the top represents the demand. We are nowhere near to the demand with respect to the green fodder. With respect to the dry fodder also, the white line and the bottom is the supply, whereas demand in the black line on the middle is represents the demand. So nowhere nearing. With respect to the percentage wise, if you see around 20 in the year, just highlight in the year 2020, the green fodder deficit is around 64%, whereas dry fodder deficit around 25%. So with respect to green fodder, with respect to dry fodder, with respect to crop residues, with respect to what is that the concentrate feeds, we are deficient. This is the stature. So here, so the impact of deficit, what is the impact of deficit is obviously demand and supply gap. There is demand and supply gap. Obviously, the prices of these crop residues and concentrates increase, no doubt. And here, what happens if these prices are increases, and it certainly make the farmer to underfeed these our animals. Due to deficit in these, our farmers will selectively feed the animals. They selectively feed the milking animals. They selectively feed upon their requirements. In general, they won't go for full feeding of our animals. So because of that, it affects the livestock health, breeding, and yielding ability of our animals. And because of that, this livestock rearing becomes a challenging enterprise, certainly, especially for those who are landless, for those who are marginal farmers and for those who are small dairy farmers. So this is the impact, and because of this, the productivity per unit, again, I correlate to the same thing. Productivity per unit animal or per unit is very, very less. Just to highlight, this is the main important thing, highlight about what are the avenues available with the livestock enterprises, because this is the main topic, today's main topic. I have just listed this much of issues, these much of things where entrepreneurship can take up and they can make good business out of it. First and foremost, what I have listed here, there are many other than these, but just I listed these things which I felt ideal to be taken up. Like seed production, obviously, I will just highlight in the next few slides that what is the status of our availability of seed in our countries as far as forage crops are concerned, and how the entrepreneurship opportunities exist in that discipline. Livestock farms, dairy farms, poultry, sheepry, poultry, piggery, rabbit farming, fish farming, whatever forms of you want to start. Certainly, there are good number of avenues are available with these livestock farms. Third thing is silage making. Silage technology is in the system since many, many years. But whatever the silage technology has got the boost in past 5-10 years, it has never received that much of boost, because people have realized, and silage technologies has a lot of potentiality to become a very good business. Just I will highlight in the next few slides. Feed manufacturers. There are the concentrate feed manufacturing units available with the different companies are there. Still fodder blocks are made. This fodder blocks, they call it as a total mixed ration, TMR. They call, even Karnataka Milk Federation has started so many units in Karnataka. But there are so much of opportunity. Even at rural areas, some progressive farmers, they are themselves evolved some what is that methodology, mixing methodology, different percentage, different concentrates, and they are doing it and they are selling it locally. And why not a entrepreneurship, a business can be started up in this thing. Mineral mixture, as we all know that we are highly deficient with the micronutrient availability in the entire country, and the mineral mapping is done. Different location-wise mineral mapping is done by our sister organization NANP. And mineral mixture production is a very, very big unit, very, very big business. And use of mineral mixture to a very, very small extent, by spending 2 rupees, 3 rupees per day, our livestock farmer can increase the productivity to a large extent. Fodder supplier. This itself is a very, very good opportunity. Cultivation of green fodder in the urban, and especially in the urban and peri-urban area, cultivation and selling. Farmers are doing, especially this case is true with maize cultivation. Farmers are cultivating and they are supplying it to different commercial dairies available in the cities. Especially the rate, what I have heard in 3-4 places, 2,000 rupees per ton green fodder they are harvesting and giving it to the commercial dairy farmers. Farm equipment manufacturer and dealer. So many queries we get. Where are the available at farm equipments, which specifically deals with like top cutter, like movers, like balers, like fodder harvesters, all these things, simple manufacturing farm equipments, which needs to be locally fabricated according to the needs of local farmers, even solar operated these, because electricity is the big problem in a rural area. Even this is a very, very gray area. As livestock farms, I told, that is as far as cultivation of livestock farms here, as a breeder, even ram breeder, dog breeder, bull breeder, there are so many local farmers available in and around. They does this, the ram breeder, because they know that they get the premium price if they sell the breeders. And locally, so many farmers in Belgaum, and especially you might have heard of the Kilari breed. Kilari breed, what farmers does here, some few local farmers are doing this business since ages. They purchase very newly born bull, and they feed it very heavily, and within a year, 2 years, they will get a prime price. You might have heard so many times in newspaper and all these things, that lakhs together. The bulls were sold for lakhs together. This is a very, very big business. Hatcheries, there are so many hatchery businesses there. Then agri clinics, pet or animal clinics are available. I think majority of veterinary people might have covered these aspects. Livestock product processor, you might have heard, you might have seen a advertisement in the television. Anil Kapoor is advertising delicious processed meat like chicken, fish. This is one of the gray area. See here, in especially the urban areas, apart from the metro, Dharwad or maybe other district headquarters where no processed livestock product is available. Only directly we have to go and purchase. But this is one of the good entrepreneurs opportunities. Farm consultants, especially with regards to the cultivation of forage crops, production of fodder, especially, and also the silage making, and also the azolla making, and also hydroponics. These are all concerned. This is a very, very gray area. Very few people are competent enough to guide the farmers on these issues. The farm consultant, especially the livestock farm consultant, or whatever it is. Contract farming. Contract farming, one of the gray area. I tell you, I will just show the one of two success stories in this contract farming. How the production of hay, the production of leaf meal, and they are doing contract farming, and even many of our forage crops are also used as what is that, medicinal plants, medicinal purpose. The Himalaya pharmaceuticals, Jendu pharmaceuticals, they all are purchasing huge quantity of our alfalfa leaf meal, alfalfa hay. Then fodder banks itself is a very, very gray area, as we especially Karnataka, as far as the Karnataka is concerned, I can tell you, every year few districts of few talukas or few the districts in Karnataka, they are droughty. So establishing a proper fodder bank in the area where the maximum fodder is produced and supplying it to the those areas where the drought is a problem, where fodder shortage is the problem. So it certainly helps in mitigating the requirement of animals, and also certainly ensures the profitability to the person who is doing business in this. Leaf meal production, even our ICAR Jhansi headquarters, they are commercially doing the subabul leaf meal production. There are few farmers who are doing the leaf meal production on a commercial scale, as a business in the Coimbatore region. In Karnataka, there are the few farmers. Hay making and marketing, even this is one of the gray area. Nowadays, earlier days, this is a traditional way of hay making. People used to do it after cutting, drying, and storing it in feed, and they are selling it. Hay making, especially the store marketing, also a part of it is entire North Karnataka. Sorghum is the major store which is fed to the animals in the entire lean period. So this is one of the big opportunity. And vermicompost production, you can imagine how much of potentiality this unit has. You can't imagine. At least I will just want to highlight a few examples. Locally, farmers, they are doing throughout year they are getting in, and they are unable to meet the demand because there are very few suppliers in the market. Very few suppliers. So to meet the growing nutrient requirement of dairy animals in an economical way, there is urgent need to focus on mitigating the demand of livestock farmers. Every field of livestock rearing has a very good opportunity, I tell you, and hence there is a huge demand for feed and fodder products. So in this way, so we need good entrepreneurs in the system. And why entrepreneurship is required in feed and fodder? Why entrepreneurship is required? There may be so many questions, because there are so many areas why we need it in farmers. The answers are very, very simple, because you all know that the world eats meat. Even though vegetarian is a buzzing word, but still 90% of entire world population enjoys meat. So you can imagine, to mitigate the requirement of 90% of world population, so the livestock rearing is very, very important. And when livestock rearing is important, feed and fodder production has its own importance. Because, and the second thing, the intensive livestock production is on the rise. Especially, I tell you, in our experiences in last 1.5 years after this COVID, there are so many entrepreneurs, so many other people who are from different sphere. They are maybe software industry or different people. They have reverse migrated to the rural areas. They started businesses. They started something, especially the livestock rearing. They have started. And this is our encounter, our experiences with these farmers. And this is on the rise. Have you ever heard decline in price of any livestock products? You can imagine nowadays you might be aware of the price of the chicken itself. Chicken has never fetched this much of price. Chicken, mutton, everything, the price is increasing, and it will. It is never going to come. And when demand is there, when there are consumers, accordingly, certainly the production of that particular unit or that particular species it will be on the rise. And especially the FAO, a very important point, because most of our land cover is under vegetation, under vegetable crops, food production or vegetable production and all things. And in the recent past, the large area of this food crop production or vegetable based food production has gone to animal feeds. You now imagine Karnataka is the biggest producer of maize. Majority of maize is supplied or is procured by the feed industry. Majority feed industry. Maybe apart from that, there are some other starch industry or something, but entire majority of maize is supplied to the feed industry. Just a best example I can quote here. Production of feed or fodder and food often go hand in hand, because a significant proportion of animal feed is based on the crop residues. Our agriculture, Indian basic agriculture, depends on the crop residues, and farmers always intend to grow such a crop which are of dual use. He should get a sufficient quantity of grain also, and also he always thinks of getting some food for animals in the form of stover, straw, or whatever, husk, or whatever it is. And a substantial share of their income derives from the sales of these byproduct of our crop residues. Especially, I tell you, one tractor load of sorghum stover is sold 8 to 10,000. One tractor trolley is around 1 ton in entire North Karnataka. It is sold at the rate of 8 to 10,000 rupees per trolley. So, and it is surely making food from our leftovers benefit the food security. This is a chain, because whatever the food crop residue we are getting from food production or food crop production is helping to or it is benefiting the food security of the nation. So coming to the individual avenues of entrepreneurship, I will highlight the seed production. Very simple in a straightforward way, because you know that seed production in forage crops is an emerging enterprise. It is a very gray area. Anyone can start seed production, and the demand is so high in the market when we compare with the availability of supply. Just I will show in the next slide. It is very huge. Well, it involves the seed production, involves all these activities like the seed production, seed testing, seed processing, bagging, marketing, and all these things. And seed production in general is distinct from the crop production. As you are aware, being an agriculture graduates, many of us, we know that the seed production and crop production aspects are totally different. And to provide high quality fodder seed in adequate quantities to farmers, and also to achieve the seed replacement rate, what we call it always in seed replacement rate, because every year farmers has to go for fresh seeds to realize the better productivity per unit area from his crop. So in case of food crops, the seed replacement rate is just 25 to 30%. In case of vegetable, it is almost 100%. In case of hybrids, 100%. Whereas the seed replacement rate in forage crops is less than 1%. You imagine, it is less than 1%. So when availability of seed is in a very big question mark, why to talk about the seed replacement rate? But there is a huge opportunity as an entrepreneurship in seed sector, and many of farmers are coming. So as per the demand and supply, just the availability in case of cultivated fodder or in case of annual fodder, it is 15 to 20% availability, whereas deficit is 80%. You imagine the situation where we are with respect to our livestock cultivation, or with respect to ensuring food security to our livestock population. And without seed, you can't enhance the production of any feed and fodder. And with respect, and the case is very severe with respect to the perennial fodder crops like range grasses and legumes. The availability is less than 5%. So if this is the stage where we are doing our livestock cultivation, so very few agencies are involved in our country, very few agencies in seed production aspect, like NDW is doing because they are into it. Few milk federations, including Karnataka Milk Federation and other milk federations, they are doing seed production to give it to their farmers. National Seed Corporations is doing seed production in a very, very few crops. Maybe maybe African tall maize, maybe cowpea, maybe a little bit of berseem, very, very few crops. State seed corporations, very, very few state seed corporations are concentrating on forest crops. Very, very few crops because their mandate is on food crops to mitigate the food requirement of our growing population. This itself is a huge Herculean task. So they have almost neglected the seed production or supply of the forest crops. Then there are around seven regional forest fodder stations and fodder production and demonstration stations are spread across the country. One central fodder seed production station is at Hasarghatta. Apart from that, 7 other stations, Chennai, Hyderabad, Godhra, Hisar, Kalyani, and all these places, they are doing the seed production. They are into it and they are supplying it to the needy organization. Very few ICR institutes like ICAR-NIVEDI, since ICAR-NIVEDI, it is fodder crops are mandated crops, they are doing the seed production. Apart from ICAR-NIVEDI, I think Kazri is doing a little bit, and very, very few organizations are doing. Very few private companies are into seed business because private companies are mainly concentrating on low volume, high value seeds. I mean to say that it is like vegetables, it is like hybrids, they are into it. They are almost neglecting the high volume and low value seeds, and fodder crops are high volume, low value seeds. And especially in case of perennials, no private company will do the business because for private people will do the business only when farmers has to get the or need to purchase the seed repeatedly every year. Whereas in case of perennials, farmers need not to. He will never go back again to purchase the same crop seed because it is a lifetime asset in his farm once he purchases the seeds. And only leftover? The leftover is some private growers. Farmers are doing seed production on their own, and there are very few cooperatives. So what I mean to highlight to the audience of today's lecture is very, very few people are doing seed production. There is huge demand, and very, very few where the quantities available is very, very few. It is very, very less. So whatever the seed production you do, whatever the venture you start in seed production, certainly there is a bright future as far as the entrepreneurship in seed production is concerned. And we have shortlisted different crops because at the end of the day, we have to suggest or we have to recommend those crops to the farmers which are remunerative as far as seed production is concerned. And these are the crops which we found very remunerative to the farmers if they go for seed production. Comparative basis, whatever the crop he is cultivating presently in his field, when we compare with those crops, these are the crops which certainly give the more cost benefit returns to the farmer. And we have successfully demonstrated in past 9 years, because we have started this program of seed production in 2013-14, and since then repeatedly year by year we have demonstrated to the so n number of farmers regarding the profitability in seed production of these crops. So yeah, any entrepreneurs or any program, today I have just related it with the seed production, but any program requires basic requirement. There may be there are few basic requirements. The first and foremost basic requirement is proper planning. The foremost requirement is proper. If anyone wants to plan for any business, he has to properly plan. He has to assess the demand. He has to assess the area of operation. He has to assess all these things with regards to seed production. He has to select the crops which are suited for the reason based on the climatic condition and all these things. And he has to consider what are the preferences of those local area, and what is the packaging size is required, price is required. In general, we sell the forage seed even 100 gram, even 50 gram many a time. But in case of you go and ask in the market or in any university to give 100 gram of any food crop seed, it won't be available. It is available in a particular size. So if we start packing 4 kg, 5 kg pack in forage crops, nobody will purchase. We need to assess these things, that what is the size, because farmers in general in our country, the problem is the resource allocation for forage crops. Biggest problem is resource allocation for forage crops. No farmer want to allocate his prime land for forage crops, his prime resources, labor, land, fertilizer. Very few farmers are ready to allocate the resources. And basically, our per capita land holding is very, very less. And in that, cultivating the forage crop is a big thing. So his requirement is very, very diverse. Our farmers' requirement as far as forage crops or forage seed is required, it is very, very diverse. So hence, we need to match to his requirement. Instead of setting our own standards, we need to match it. Price is very, very important because many of forage seed price is very, very high. Cost of forage seed is very, very high because the seed yield per unit area is very less. When we compare with other food crops, hybrids, whatever it is, the seed yield per unit area is very, very less. And to compensate the cost of production, we have to fix the price of a seed, sale price of seed, which ensures the profitability for the grower. So because of that, the price of the forage crop seed is very, very high, especially the perennial crops. The selected variety must be adapted to the area for seed production, already I have highlighted. Second thing is technical knowledge of production. This is very, very important. You need to assess the climatic requirement of that. Then the seed production is very, very scientific based, especially the isolation distance in case of the cross-pollinated crops, in case of self-pollinated crops. Just one example I wanted to give here. As I told, Karnataka is the largest producer of maize. In case of especially we have faced a lot of difficulty in getting proper isolation distance for our African tall maize seed production. We many times we say face a lot of difficulty because it requires minimum 400-500 meter distance between fields, and we won't get in rural area this much distance in many occasions. And if we doesn't maintain proper isolation distance, there is contamination of seed lot. So genetic purity won't be there. So these are all the important issues which we need to consider. Hence, the proper technical knowledge of production is important. Field inspections are important. Synchronization of flowering, rowing, maturity, and harvesting methods. Many of forage crops, seed harvesting is totally different than food crops. This knowledge we need to have. Then, with respect to the infrastructure, as you all know, that any business needs infrastructure, and proper infrastructure is key for success of any entrepreneurship. And with respect to seed sector, yes, skilled manpower you require, as the processing plant you may require, and you require seed testing laboratory, or you need to consult the nearby seed testing laboratory, seed storage facility, seed packing, and everything. These are all very important things. And most important thing is the capital. And capital is the important factor considered to be considered by the entrepreneurs. Many a times, what happens? Many a times we either invest more or we underinvest. We never plan or we never execute accordingly. This is in that case, many a times the sustainability of any business will be in question. And if enterprise in seed production of a high volume and low volume crops, high investment is required, and it is vice versa with respect to low volume, high value crops. And with respect to capital, I tell you, there are so many opportunities, so many avenues that government of India has encouraged, especially to start the entrepreneurship in seed production. And like especially the seed production related, or especially the forage crops related, centrally sponsored schemes like National Livestock Mission, National Program for Dairy Development, and recently started the Rashtriya Gokul Mission by the government of India. They all have provision to support the seed production in forage crops and start as an entrepreneurship. And especially the NABARD, especially the Ministry of Small Scale Industry, these are the other avenues where seed production can, where the the bank loan facility or credit facility are available. And those who want to start the seed production, especially, they must just plan well in advance. They need to plan very well in advance, because you won't get the basic seed as and when you want. You have to properly plan well in advance. You have to properly indent the seed, whatever you want, either foundation seed, either certified seed, to the parental institution well in advance. Because as you all know that these are all not prioritized crops of many of our organizations. Hence, proper prior indenting only benefit you in procuring the timely procurement of these seeds. So this is very, very important. Then quality control. This is very, very important aspect, because what we ensure in seed production is the quality. At the end of the day, it is the quality that matters. Quality, and there are different types of quality. That is, as I told, genetic purity, physical purity, seed testing quality, seed quality testing with respect to germination, with respect to physical purity, and all these things. There are different agencies involved in that. Is seed certification agencies are there, seed quality testing laboratories are there. These are all the things which we need to utilize, and the same case holds good with other entrepreneurial opportunities too. And proper training. The person who want to start any entrepreneurship in this field need to get proper training, so that whatever business he is starting, he should have proper skill to become an entrepreneur. So this is one example. Just I wanted to highlight here what we started from 2014-15, the participatory seed production, which is a very good success. We are successfully we are running, and what the advantage, what the benefits, what we have got is really one can realize those benefits upon seeing the progress made with respect to the availability of quality seed in our, especially in Karnataka. Because earlier, before 2014-15, there were no other agencies involved in seed production of forage crops in the entire state or entire region. But as far as ICAR is concerned, we are at Dharwad. We are a very, very small unit. We cannot, we were not having any infrastructure facilities to mitigate the demand which we used to get for the seeds from different organizations, including farmers, including cooperatives, NGOs, and all these things. Realizing the importance of the demand, we started the participatory seed production with the farmers' participation, and it's a very, very well planned program we have started with a memorandum of understanding between the producer and the ICFRI, and everything is done on a planned manner. On a bond paper, the memorandum of understanding was signed. We used to allocate the crop, or we used to allocate the seed production area based on the demand what we have, based on the area or location of his farm or his field, suitability of soil and land, and all these things we used to consider, and we used to allocate the seed production programs to those farmers. And these are with the different conditions, like farmers need to purchase the seed from us only, or from the known source where we designate him. Nothing is given free in this program. Everything farmers need to purchase on cost basis. Only technological knowledge or the monitoring of seed production plots done by the IGFRS scientist regularly. And whatever the farmers used to produce the seed, that seed used to be he has been given two options. It is not mandatory for him to submit entire quantity of his produce to the IGFRI. We had given two options for him. If you want to sell elsewhere in the market at a higher price than whatever price we fixed, he was given free hand or liberty to sell the seed in the market. If nobody is purchasing that seed from him, we are ready to purchase the seed. So on the day one, farmers were told that this is the price at which we are procuring the seed from him. So based on that, we started this program, and this program is running very, very successfully. As of today, I can very happily convey you or say you that there are n number of seed producers in Karnataka presently, with the surplus availability of seed in the market. With surplus availability of seed, especially for 4 or 5 important crops, the seed is in surplus in the market. Because every day they call us, sir, Even though they are not so many farmers, even though they have not entered into a contract farming with us, they call us, sir, I have produced this much of seed. If any agency is asking, or if you are willing to purchase, kindly purchase it from us. This is a within 7-8 years, this is where we have reached. So that's why I wanted to convey to the audience, to today's audience, that the potentiality of seed production in forage crops. This is how different conditions or parameters which we have enlisted as far as agreement is concerned. This is the what is the production we have realized in the last year. If you see, this has started in 14-15. Just I have shown in past 5 years what is the status. But if you see in 2020-21, you might be wondering, the quantity might be very less when we compare with the food crops. But you can't imagine the area coverage under this, because farmers comes to us, they never purchase seeds in tons and quintals or kgs. They purchase 100 gram, they purchase 200 gram. So you can imagine how many farmers have bought the quality seed or planting material for multiplication of forage crops, for cultivation of forage crops. The impact, the quantum is very high here. So this is how we are doing, and it is increasing. N number of farmers are approaching us, and N number of now our old farmers, they have independently started seed production and sale. That's why I will show in next 2-3 slides the success stories of those farmers. Just to make you aware of what is the cost benefit, what is the benefit in seed production. See here, in case of perennial fodder sorghum, on an average, a farmer get around, on an average, I am telling, even farmers have got seed in up to 4 quintal per acre also. But I am considering it in average seed yield per unit area, and the returns here is you can imagine around 57,000 rupees net profit per acre under rainfed condition. Under rainfed condition, and here the value plus the value of stover, sorghum stover, leftover stover is not included. Around 3 tons to 5 tons per hectare they get, and per ton stover price is around 8 to 10 quintals, as I have 10,000 rupees I have already told. So this is the profit base, and I tell you, a proper planned and seed produced forage crops is double remunerating than any food crops which we are producing on our field. This is our own experiences, and this is challengingly, I can tell you. With respect to Styloxanthus hemata, as many of you are aware or not, the entire seed production is done in only one place in our country, that is Hindupur, Anandpur district near Bengaluru. In that area only the farmers do the seed production. We have a contract agreement with those farmers. We regularly produce the seed from those farmers we procure, and because it is a bit of labor intensive, but the farmers they are doing seed production since past 60-70 years, since 1950 onwards, because Styloxanthus was introduced to that area by under Indo-Australian project. Presently, that project is now named where Central Fodder Seed Production Station exists. So they have given this Styloxanthus seed to those farmers as a demonstration purpose. Since then, for the entire country, the Styloxanthus hemata seed is supplied from this area. Apart from that, we on a very small scale we do seed production at Dharwad, but the maximum quantity of seed production is done in Hindupur area. With respect to lucerne, the lucerne, many of you are aware that the seed cost in the market is around 1,200 rupees per kg. Here, whatever the seed cost I have just calculated is just 600 rupees per kg, and on an average 2 quintal per acre seed farmer get. And if 2 quintal means 1,20,000, and cost of cultivation is hardly 15 to 20,000, and a 1 lakh rupee earning per acre in a season. Of course, it is an irrigated crop, you imagine. And apart from that, I have not included the price of dry fodder. Here, just I will show in the next slides that lucerne dry fodder value is so high. As I told, it is also a very good medicinal crop. There are Jandu Pharmaceuticals, Dabur, and all these people, they purchase the seeds, the dry matter or hay of lucerne for their uses, and they procure the dry lucerne fodder at the rate of 22 to 20 rupees per kg. With respect to the hedge lucerne, this is a high. This crop is in very high demand, especially for those who are into goat and sheep farming, and my huge demand is in market. And the seed yield is better than the lucerne seed yield. Up to 3 quintals of seed farmers get per unit area, and the cost of cultivation is 120,000, especially at the time of the pod picking or seed picking. And you can imagine the profitability in this case also. With respect to, as I told, the Hindupur area, Stylosanthe hemata, there are so many farmers who are doing seed production. He is one of our contact farming, and also he is an entrepreneur. He sells to the entire. If I say entire country, if I may not be wrong, he even sells to the veterinary department, animal husbandry department, watershed department, forest department, including ICAR and all. So this is how the things. These are all the few pictures of seed production plots, which just I will go through fastly so that I can cover the next topics well in time. So these are all the seed production plots. There is with us presently around 25 to 30 farmers are enrolled for seed production. And to tell you frank, around last year, 5 of our seed production farmers are agriculture and horticulture graduates. They are doing seed production. They are doing seed production. So just to highlight the benefits, what are the benefits I have already told from our participatory seed production is that we have ensured the availability of quality seed in the market throughout the year. Whenever farmer want seed in our state, especially the seeds are available. And improved seed replacement ratio and varietal replacement ratio, this has helped in replacing the seed. Because after every 2-3 years, farmers come back to us for changing the existing crop and they wanted to sow the new crop. Then seed quality is improved through regular field visit and monitoring, and human resource has improved. The seed producing farmers get higher premium prices. Yes, at the end of the day, our objective is both of our objective. One objective is make available the quality seed in the market. The second objective is to ensure profitability for the producer. This is what we have achieved from this program, and we are happy to share with these success stories with you people, few success stories, so that it motivates you all to start entrepreneurship in different aspects of forest crops. One example, just one person, Mallanna Bhoski of Jawargi Taluk of Gulbarga district, he approached us in 2019. He used to come to us once in 15 days or 20 days, and he procures 25 kg seeds every time, and he takes it to his farm near his village, and he used to sell the seeds there with some margin of 50 rupees or 100 rupees. Our price is around 400 rupees per kg. He used to sell around 500 rupees, including his transport. All the way he used to come from Jawargi every 10 days, 15 days. He used to procure the seed from us. One day I called him that what you will do with this seed? You purchase seed 25 kg every week or 15 days. What you do? Then he was afraid. He was afraid to tell me that he is selling at his local farm, local village. But I just asked him, no, nothing to worry. Please tell me what you do this with. He told, I will sell the seed. I sell the seed by increasing 50 rupees or 100 rupees, sir. Then I told, why don't you produce the seed? He told, no, sir, I have only 2 acres of land, and I usually cultivate Arar, pigeon pea. As you are, that Gulbarga is the den of what is that Arar production. Then I told, okay, if you are doing that, no need. I don't want to change you the cropping pattern. You do one thing, nearby your field, you just get a lease of 1 acre land. 1 acre land you get on lease, and just start growing this crop. I told him and I sent him. He told, okay, sir, I will try. After 15 days, when he came back again, he told, no, sir, instead of pigeon pea, I have sown the perennial fodder sorghum crop on 2 acre land. So I told him, okay, no problem. You just whatever the facilitation you want, whatever the technological input you want from us, we are ready to help, and you just start producing the seed. And after that, he enrolled with us as a registered farmer after sowing. So we visited and we saw Imagine he got 11.5 quintal of seed from 2.25 acre land. You just imagine 11.5 quintal of seed from 2.25 acres of land. 11 quintal means almost 5 lakh worth of seed from 2 acre land, 2.5 acre land. And he realized the profit. He supplied it to different agencies, and later on, in the next year, he started his own company, and he is selling seeds. And with the nowadays the use of social media like Facebook and YouTube, he has helped immensely to these farmers, and they are selling the seeds of these to across different people. They have what is that? Made agreement with some courier persons. Just a video I'm sharing with whatever video they have made, and they have uploaded it on social media.
ಭಾರತೀಯ ಹುಲ್ಲುಗಾವಲು ಮತ್ತು ಮೇವು ಸಂಶೋಧನಾ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ, ಪ್ರಾಂತೀಯ ಸಂಶೋಧನಾ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಧಾರವಾಡ ಇವರಿಂದ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗೊಂಡು ಮಾನ್ಯತೆ ಪಡೆದ ಬೇವಿನ ಬೀಜಗಳು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಲಭ್ಯ. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ದೊರೆಯುವ ಸುಧಾರಿತ ಬಹುವಾರ್ಷಿಕ ಬೇವಿನ ಬೀಜಗಳು COFS 3129, ಜೊಗಚೆ, ಸಸ್ಪೇರಿಯಾ, ಕುದುರೆ ಮೆಂತೆ, ಯುಸೆರ್, ಬೇಲಿ ಮೆಂತೆ, ಹೆಡ್, ಯುಸೆರ್, ಪಾಪುಲ್, ಸ್ಟೈಲೋ ಹೆಮಲಾ ಇದರಂತೆ.
I don't want to, because it's a very long video. I just don't want to go there. But what I wanted to convey. See the rural youth. He is the first photo. What you are seeing, that person is a son of that farmer, and he has realized the potentiality within 6 months. And he started associating with his neighborhood farmers. He gave the seed to them for production. He himself started procuring from them and started selling through social media. So this is the potentiality of these crops. This is another example of another person. He is the one person who approached us for production of maize, African tall, because he earlier used to produce the maize seed production and supply it to different businessmen at Ranemanur, because you know that Ranemanur is the seed production company hub. But once he approached that, sir, I am ready to produce the African tall seed production. He approached us. Later on, he started seed production in different crops. Now he also started one company. He is also selling. He independently doing seed production, and he is selling seed. One of his words, see, he has uploaded one YouTube video on 22nd September 2020. You see the views, 65,000 views to his video. See, you can imagine the clientele base here. So many people want a quality planting material or seed or anything which helps in livestock rearing. He has started his company. He has started. He got a GST number. He is selling seed to the different clients now. So this is how I just wanted to. And most importantly, many of you might have heard Santosh Pagat, our own student from this university. He had done his MSc Agri from agronomy in 2014. After that, he visited us for some knowledge on especially the Lucerne hay business, Lucerne leaf mill business. Because somewhere he was approached by this Himalaya drugs people that they are ready to procure the Lucerne dry fodder for their own purpose. And he approached us, and we motivated him. Why not? Yes, you start that also, but why not you start the seed production in different forage crops? He has started way back in 2014-15, and today he is one of the big I can say that the biggest individual seed producer in the state, if not in country. He is doing it, and every year he is going on improving it, and he is increasing the area and the production. Now you can see the land is under which he is cultivating these crops is 100 acres, and irrigated his own land is 4 acres. Remaining area is under borewell, and he has taken different machineries also to help in reduce the cost of cultivation. So his quantum, you can imagine, you just see 2021 projected the quantity in quintals is 250 quintals of Lucerne around 200 quintals of perennial fodder sorghum, hedge lucerne 15 quintals, and alfalfa hay production, as I told, the lucerne or alfalfa hay production around 500 quintals he is targeting this year. And his turnover, whatever he has given here is, I'm telling, in case of 1920, because 2021 his turnover he has not 1920. You see the overall turnover is around 140 lakh rupees. 140 lakh rupees, you imagine. A farmer doing business in these things, livestock related things. So his major clients, he supplies seed to throughout the country. His major clients are Milk Federation, Karnataka Milk Federation, because as and when the Karnataka Milk Federation float the tender, he is the person who applies the tender, and most of the time he gets the tender because very few players in the market to apply the tender. Commercial dairy farms, stud farms, he supplies his lucerne or alfalfa hay to the stud farms in Bengaluru, Ahmedabad, and trucks together he sends. And farmers who comes up, because in Karnataka, okay, in the recent past, these melas have stopped, but everywhere, district-wise, taluka-wise, everybody is used to conduct the Krishi Mela, Kisan Melas. All the universities, all the state government, agriculture departments, maybe some mutts, religious mutts, so many people, and NGOs like Dharmasthala, Shrita Dharmasthala, Rural Development Association, these NGOs and all these people, they conduct, and they are the big platforms for these seed producers to go and sell the seed. They are very big platforms. And Department of Animal Husbandry, Veterinary Services, Department of Agriculture, Forest Department, farmers, NGOs, and all that. And till now, just I tell you, the base, or the farmer base, he has supplied seed to the 2005 minimum of 2,500 clients. Imagine. So this is how just I wanted to highlight the importance. And he has got so many recognition awards from different what is that organizations like US Harvard, then Agriculture Department, then Vijay Karnataka Superstar Raita, Krishi Melas. From ICAR-NIVEDI also we have honored this farmer. This is the just photograph of seed production plots. This is how he packs the alfalfa leaf, the third photo, alfalfa leaf hay, and he supplied it to the different stud farms. Even a team of our scientists visited to his fields. And alfalfa hay making, as you all know, that alfalfa is one of fastest growing fodder crops. It comes for cutting in only 30 days. First cutting is 13 days. The subsequent cutting days are only 1 month. So every month the farmer cut the fodder. They leave it in the field for drying for 1 week, and immediately they bring it. They put it in a threshing machine. They bag it, and he sells it. And this fodder, that last photo, the dry fodder, he sells at the rate of 20 rupees to 22 rupees per kg to different clients. You imagine. He has his own branding. He sells seeds with his own branding, like Krishika seeds. Different. He has got, as I told, different awards and all these things. And another success story of the seed production is with respect to the alfalfa seed production. Entire Gujarat, entire Rajasthan, huge quantity of seed production is done, because the western region is known for, because the seed yield per unit area is very, very high in that area. Whatever the seed we produce in Karnataka, here we get maximum around 2 quintal seed per hectare. Whereas in case of the western part of the country, the seed yield per hectare is 4-5 quintals. Because of that, the huge market, as I told, this is very old report I have put, about 107 crore rupees business is in Gujarat as far as the alfalfa seed production is concerned. So this is the scale of commercial lucerne seed production in Gujarat, just to highlight, because so much of time I have covered with regards to seed production. Just I wanted to move to different aspect. Silage, as I have told in the beginning, silage is one of the gray area where the silage production ensures good profitability to the any entrepreneurs who want to invest. We have seen few entrepreneurs in our state in the recent past. They are doing it. They silage technology. We all know that this is the definition. Silage is nothing but pickling. Whenever the green is there, your green mango you are getting in a season, you are putting a pickle, you are putting its pickle for eating it the entire year. Here also same. In the particular season, when excess fodder is available, you are ensiling it with some proper procedure and ensuring the availability of good quality fodder throughout the year to your livestock. This is the definition. I don't want to go there. But what is the why the different fodder crops which are suited for first and foremost is maize. Maize is the best crop which are available, and in especially in our state, as far as concerned, everywhere you go, maize production is done, and farmers are happy to sell their green fodder to whatever needy persons they want. Everywhere they are selling it. The minimum rate is around 2,000 rupees per ton. So instead of harvesting grain and selling it in the market and waiting till that period, they are selling the green fodder at the rate of 2,000 rupees per ton when the crop reaches to 65 days, or at the time of the cob formation, or cob is in the milky stage. With respect to fodder sorghum, hybrid napier, sugarcane tops, oat, marval grass, these are the potential grasses or potential crops which use, because for preference for grasses is there for silage making. For silage making, the grasses or monocotyledons are preferred because it contains more sugar than the protein, and the sugar is utilized in fermentation process to make lactic acid by the microorganisms. Hence, majority of the monocotyledons or grasses crops belongs to grasses are used for silage making. This is just the photographs to show the silage making. And silage making, as in past 10 year, this business has started getting momentum, because earlier we need to dig the pit, or we need to raise a brick wall to make the silage. But in the recent past, different handy sizes of silage bags starting from 5 kg to 1000 kg bags have come. So it has eased the farmers to go for silage making and to get more benefit out of it. Hence, farmers are adopting silage making as a good business, and they are doing it. This is one video or one example which a commercial unit of silage making, which we have seen in Ranemanur area. Near Ranemanur, they have started this silage business on a commercial scale. They have brought one machine by investing huge amount, and they are doing this silage business. I will show video at the end, because this video is not working here. I will show this video, a commercial unit of silage making, when we have seen very wonderful, very wonderful. And you all know that he is selling this particular farmer is selling this silage at the rate of 10 to 12 rupees to Kerala, to Tamil Nadu, and all these things. And the production cost of silage is around 5 to 6 rupees per kg, and anything sold above that is highly profitable. This is another machine we have seen recent cost available in the market. This is along with the chopper come the compressor. The bags are put in these silos, and it is compressed here. So many avenues are available in the market. So just to highlight, just to show you that these are the avenues farmers are doing in a commercial scale with regards to silage is concerned. Those two videos I will show you at the end. This is another aspect, the sorghum store processing and soil. This business is going on since past 30-40 years in Karnataka, especially in Belgaum and Bijapur district. In Belgaum, it is Yadwad in Gokal Taluka. In case of Bijapur, it is Sarwad near Bijapur Taluka. So here, as you know, that the entire North Karnataka sorghum store is very important dry fodder which they feed it to the animals. So here the industries are there that small scale industries, what they do, the entire land they purchase after harvest of sorghum grains. They take their choppers to that huge, big choppers to the land, or even they bring the harvested sorghum over to their yard. They chop it into very small pieces. Just chop it to maybe half inch or less than that. They chop it because the entire quantity is dried. There is no question of any rottage or any mold growth or anything. The entirely it is totally very well dried. They bring it to their yard. They chop it. They bag it, and they sell it. They send it specially to the Pune and Mumbai market, because you know that Pune and Mumbai market is anything you supply, they consume it, because cultivation of green fodder in metro you can't imagine there, and they sell it. They sell it at the rate of 6 to 8 rupees kg. It is very long back rate, but now they have increased the rate to 10 to 12 rupees per kg. This is one of wonderful business they are doing, which I think many of us are not aware of it. So why I am showing this is the opportunities are immense, vast. So this is how they are doing it, and they are selling it. Sorghum stover. The hay production is also very important thing. The forages like rices and legumes, they have been cut and dried under sunlight. It is a very traditional practice. We are doing it. Our farmers are doing it, but commercially we can do it through the use of different nowadays mechanization or machines. This is the traditional way of conserving the hay and the hay production. But nowadays the hay baling, the reaper come balers they have come. We can use those. We can dry the fodder. And the advantage of this hay baling is that instead of storing it in an open condition, exposing our hay to all sorts of weather vagaries, we can bring it into a controlled condition or a covered area where we ensure the proper quality throughout its life. So even hay densification machines are there, apart from hay balers and hay densification machines. By using these machines, we reduce the volume to 1/7. Instead of transporting into the by 7 tractors or 8 tractors, we transport it into a single tractor. If that much of material is compressed or reduced, densified, that material can be stored in a very much controlled area, and we ensure, by which we ensure the quality hay available to the animals throughout the year. This is how our IGFR agency have done the hay baling. Even we have demonstrated it in different villages. Different sizes of bales we can make, different sizes. There is nothing fixed here. According to our requirement, we can bale our hay and keep it in controlled condition and feed it throughout the year. This is one of the gray area where we can start the business. With respect to hydroponics, as you all are aware that, and there are many discussions or debates used to go on that hydroponics, whether it is profitable or not. But every technology has its advantage. Every technology has its own niches. Every technology has its own advantages, and I feel hydroponics is one of it, which has very good potentiality. And to tell you frankly, you go to Maharashtra, nearby state, adjacent state to our Karnataka, Kolhapur, Sangli, all these places, farmers themselves are fabricating with the locally available material, and they are growing the hydroponic fodder, and they are realizing the benefit out of it. Especially hydroponics is a technology which needs to be adopted, especially in case of landless farmers, especially the dryland farmers, especially those farmers who are resource poor. They are not irrigated, and all these things is an issue. This is a very you see the bamboo structures, locally made, locally available material. They have made it. The cost of here, see, many a time there is a debate or there is a question that it always used to be costly, but a properly managed, properly cultivated, properly managed hydroponic fodder costs around 5 to 6 rupees per kg of fodder, which takes around 7 to 8. 8th day is the harvesting period. So it costs around 5 to 6 rupees. If you start feeding around 4 to 5 kg per animal, it is almost on par with feeding 1 kg of concentrate feed. So this has a very good potentiality, rich in nutrient content, and hence this business is booming on a very large scale. And many of fabricators, especially local fabricators, they are coming out with an unit which is of highly cost effective. Even solar based unit have been produced, solar based unit of, because electricity is the biggest problem in the rural area. Even solar based units have been introduced into different farms. So this is one of the gray area. And one of important thing is the cattle feed or fodder block. Concentrate feed is different, which is commercially produced. This is the fodder block unit, where even in Karnataka, so many people are doing this business, including the Karnataka Milk Federation, which has started, I think, 7-8 units in Karnataka. But many of those units are, I think, running or not, I don't know. But these are all very important thing, where in case of fodder blocks, the major portion is the fodder itself, the chopped fodder. Then they are mixing with the different TMR, that is total mixed rations, molasses, and all these things they are mixing it, and they are making the fodder. And here, see the straw cutting unit, paddy straw and all this, they are using it. They are loading it in a conveyor belt, mixing with the TMR, that is total mixed action mixing unit, and hydraulic densification unit, and fodder blocks are made, and these fodder blocks are fed to the animals. And it is costing around 14-15 rupees per kg. Here the cost is coming. So anything, because demand is so high in the market, anything which is supplied, even in a margin of keeping a margin of 1 rupees, 2 rupees, demand is very high for these products or these things in the market. Lucerne leaf mill unit, as I told, one in Karnataka, one in the Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore. Since many years it is running, since 1985 it is running. They are producing the lucerne with the contact farming with the farmers. As I told, they are purchasing the dry fodder of dry hay or dry lucerne meal, and they are chopping it, they are bagging it, and they are supplying it to the different farms. This is a fodder block, feed block, fodder block, one article published from our headquarters. These are all the, even Subabul leaf mill, even Hedge lucerne leaf mill, and these are all the important avenues where entrepreneurship programs can be started. And one more important thing I tell you, nowadays the era of organic agriculture, everybody want organic, everybody want to eat organic product, everybody, but how difficult it is to produce organic, no one realizes. But especially it's a buzzing word in the especially urban and peri-urban area. See, organic in organic agriculture, vermicompost is the biggest thing. And vermicompost is the what is that byproduct of whatever the livestock industry is there. So huge demand in the market nowadays. The vermicompost is sold at 8 to 10 rupees per kg. He is one of the farmer near Saunur. He is producing the huge quantity of vermicompost throughout year locally. He has been never exposed or nothing. He is producing. He is getting intent from different farmers, different NGOs, different government organizations. He is producing and he is supplying. He is unable to meet the demand. Likewise, there are n number of examples. Even our farmers here, they are doing seed production along with livestock rearing and along with vermicompost. Only thing is, yes, we need to invest. We need to brand it properly, and we need to sell it. This is one of the gray area. And if you go to any you search on Google regarding an entrepreneurship on the feed and fodder cultivation, you will get n number of articles, n number of success stories. Few of them I have copied and just representing here. And this is in collaboration with our sister organization, that is earlier ICAR regional ICAR complex Goa. Now it is CARI, that is Coastal Central Agriculture Research Institute Goa. One young engineer turned into fodder grower come entrepreneur. I'm not just going in detail about this. You can search and you can read. Why I am showing these things is to motivate you people. to motivate you people to start some entrepreneurship in these aspects is concerned. Entrepreneurship in dairy through green fodder cultivation. This is one of example of the farmer who has cultivated the green fodder and realized the proper. And also there is one more body in the bottom, that is Syngenta Foundation. Entrepreneurs spots a fodder opportunity. Entrepreneur spots a fodder opportunity. The meaning is you can understand the meaning itself. So there are so many. Now grass is greener for fodder entrepreneurs. This is with this is a case of Milma, that is Malabar Regional Cooperative Milk Producers Union, who have sold around 3,263 tons of fodder grass last fiscal year, worth 1.2 crore rupees. You imagine, because and it is the fodder grass which is procured by Milma at the rate of 3.5 rupees kg is distributed to dairy farmers at 2.5 rupees kg at a subsidized rate. So just to highlight importance, this is one of the report submitted to the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister's office by this one. What is that? IIM Ahmedabad. They have, I think, compiled some few success stories across India, and you see here serial number 1, collective livestock fodder marketing in Aroli village of Nagpur district. Nagpur comes under, you know, that the Vidarbha region, and Vidarbha region is also known for most drought hit, is under considered as most drought hit or drought prone area. This is one report that the IIM Ahmedabad has compiled last year, and they have submitted it to the Prime Minister office. Here, what are the key observations is one person, one veterinary doctor, a retired insurance company manager. He convinced his village, that is Aroli village farmers, to grow fodder crops. His objective was to change the cropping pattern. Since many years they were cultivating with some other crops, monocropping they were doing. He wanted to change the monocropping, and he wanted to make realize those farmers the good profit. And he has made an association of around 45 farmers, and he took them to different fodder units spread in the state for demonstration purpose. And initially these 45 farmers agreed to cultivate hybrid Napier on a 55-acre land in the first year, and in the third year the area increased to 250 acres. And as association grows bigger, the government of Maharashtra also helped in supplying on subsidy the chaff cutter and other machineries which are required for this fodder cultivation and marketing. And what they did, they cultivated hybrid Napier on 250-acre land. They chop that hybrid Napier green fodder every day, and they bagged it in 20 kg bag, and they distributed to all the members or all the needy people, which they demanded at the rate of 3 rupees 50 paise per kg throughout the year. Fully chopped fodder is supplied to the clients in 20 kg bags throughout the year to the destination point. They have delivered it to the destination points, these 20 kg bags. And you imagine, this is a report of the last year turnover was 7 crore rupees. 7 crore rupees by these 45 farmers. So just try to realize the opportunities or the importance of it. So with this, I think I reached the conclusion of this today's topic, which is very, very broad, I feel. As you all are aware that feed and fodder deficit is one of the foremost constraints in livestock production, especially in our country, because the livestock production in our country is crop residue dependent, basically crop residue dependent. And since the adoption of high yielding varieties, small hybrids and all these things, crop residue in general has reduced drastically. So in any business context, prices are governed by the laws of supply and demand. And when demand is high and supply is low, prices continue to rise, and this holds good, very good with the livestock sector of our country. The future of the feed and fodder industry is secure, and seems likely that demand will continue to rise while supply is limited by the proportion of land that can be used for agriculture. Very true, because of our growing population, because of urbanization, expanding urbanization, because of expanding concretization, obviously the arable land decreasing day by day. So under which condition various fodder related technologies have been developed. However, the adoption of these technologies by farmers remains limited. Very few, that these technologies has reached very limitedly. So this is where an entrepreneur is required to take these things to the needy farmers. Enrichment of crop residues, establishment of fodder banks, seed production, improvement of pasture, grasslands. Even I have not touched these gray areas like pastures development, grassland development, all these things. I have not touched this. All this is possible by encouraging startups, fodder entrepreneurship, and strengthening fodder initiatives by different departments and all these things. And whether we look at current figures or future trends, the livestock industry remains a big business, and it remains profitable. Hence, it is all responsibility of all of us, especially the people like you, the youngsters like you. They have a good say, and certainly profitability is on the cards. If you think of starting any business in forage crops, certainly it is on the card, and it will be of good remunerative if you take up any startup. And the government of India is really very, very serious and very, very rigorously encouraging our younger population by initiating the incubation centers at different institutes. They are promoting by what is that? Providing an opportunity for different credit schemes and all these things. So you can better make use of these facilities, and hopefully few startups will start in coming days in this sector. So thank you so much for, I think, very, very patient hearing for almost 1.5 hour. If the chairman permits, I will just show those 2 videos.
Yeah, you can, sir, please. Sir, video is not visible, sir.
ಇದನ್ನ ಶೇರ್ ತೆಗಿಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಶೇರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಇದು ತೆಗೆದು
ಅವರೇ ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದಲ್ವಾ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸರ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಶೇರ್ ದಿ ವಿಡಿಯೋ, ಸರ್. ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಸ್ಟಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್? ಬಂತ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ.
ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್.
ಇದನ್ನ
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ದು.
ಅದೇ ಸರ್, ಅದೇ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ನಾನು. ಅದು ರಾಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು.
ನಾನು ಐಗಾರಿಗೆ EFC ಫೈನಲ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ.
Kindly enable the screen sharing.
Sir, please. Enable is anodi, sir. Sir, ಇದು minimize ಮಾಡಿ just video play ಮಾಡಿ. ಸರ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರ್? ಹಲೋ ವಿನೋದ್ ಸರ್. ಹಲೋ ಸರ್. ಹಲೋ. ಹಲೋ ಸರ್.
ಹಲೋ.
ಹಾ ಸರ್, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಏನು ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್?
ಸರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಫೈಲ್ ಸೈಜ್.
ಅದೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ರೀಸನ್ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಲಿಂಕ್ ನಮಗೆ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಇಮೇಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ.
True.
Okay. So now then we will go ahead with the question and answer session, sir. If you
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Shall I need to go to enter chat box or what?
No. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು.
Right, sir.
They will ask from here on this. Sir, the general question one from the participants. Supply and demand gap is there in the supply of the fodder.
Yes.
But still milk production every year we are seeing in the increasing rate.
As I told, milk production is increasing only because of the population. Yes, population is there and it is increasing because of the population, not as per the productivity of per unit. See, our numbers, animal numbers are high. Because of that, our production is increasing, and moreover, as everybody is going for crossbreeding or purebred animals. Earlier days in our country, we used to rear only the local breeds. But on a commercial scale, now everybody is going for purebreds, or even if not purebreds, they are going for crossbreeds. And because of that, the production is increasing. Not when you consider the table of the per unit production. Per unit production, I think we are unable to increase, or we are not unable to improve to a large extent. Maybe marginally it is there, might be there.
So any subsidies for starting the fodder banks?
Any subsidiaries? See, the thing is, the fodder bank in general, there is always demand of dry fodder in one or other place, if not in one place, in one or other place. If properly planned and executed fodder banks, certainly they will do it. And I think not on a government basis, there are few NGOs, there are few fodder banks, they are supplying it, but not on any private entrepreneur has still entered into this.
Subsidiaries alla.
Subsidies. Sir, any subsidy from government side for fodder banks, sir?
Yes, of course, there are even one incident I will tell you. Especially in case of drought hit areas, what the government starts is that they start immediate fodder banks. They procure the fodder, because government start fodder bank, but from where the fodder will come? Because it is not an industrial product that overnight the capacity increases, or they increase the capacity and they get. It is not possible. they start procuring the fodder from the farmers. They procure the fodder from the farmer at particular, say for last 2 years before, 4.5 rupees per kg dry fodder, it was fixed and they procure it. And they sold to the farmers at a subsidized rate. But your question here, the question is different. Here the question is, to start the fodder bank, is there any subsidy? Yes, there are schemes which give us a lot of subsidy for starting up the startups in fodder.
So Dr. Deepa is asking, any agreement required for purchasing fodder seeds? Where can we get the fodder seeds, and what is the price for the fodder seeds?
Okay, there are so many fodder crops. The prices are totally different from one crop to another crop. ICAR-NIVEDI Dharwad, ICAR-NIVEDI Jhansi are the major sources you can contact. You can get the contact details from ICAR-NIVEDI website, and anytime in a year you contact. If well in advance, if you indent, if you require large quantity, it is well and good to plan and take up the seed production accordingly. If small quantity is required, I think it is available every time.
Okay, is the agreement mandatory, sir?
Agreement?
Mandatory.
Agreement?
Is the agreement mandatory? Yeah.
No. For purchaser, not at all. Not at all. But large quantity, if anybody want, if they inform us well in advance, we plan and accordingly take up the seed production in respective seasons.
Okay. Chetan Rajput is asking, can we extract oils from the seeds? Whether the oils from these seeds are edible or inedible?
No.
Okay.
Not commercially viable. Maybe oil may be contained in it may contain a small percentage of oil, but they are not. Nobody has tried, because again we deviate our objective over here. If fodder seed diverted for oil production, the area has already 95% deficit is there. How to mitigate that?
Sure. Sir, Dr. Mushtaba Hacham is asking, is it feasible to grow perennial fodder crops everywhere, sir? Like the climate and the temperature will be major factor.
God-given blessing, the advantage with these crops here is they are highly adaptive in nature, because in the system it is survival of the fittest. These crops have never seen the luxury of any crop husbandry. So they adapted themselves to survive in the system. So they are basically very hardy crops. So they are suited for almost all types of conditions from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. And God given another blessing is that when compared to rest of the crops, they are less prone for pest and disease attack.
So Dr. Mega is asking, what kind of certification we require in order to sell the feed additive for livestock? Any institute which would validate the product?
No, see, if you are planning to go for seed production, yes, you can take up. In some cases, you can take up foundation seed production. In some majority of cases, you can take for certified seed or truthfully labeled seed. And there is an agency in, especially every state has a seed certification agency. So as far as seed production is concerned, there are different procedures are involved. There are different forms need to be submitted, and all these procedures you need to get registered as a seed grower, and all these things are there. Set procedure as far as seed production and seed law in our country is concerned.
Thank you, sir. So if anyone has any other question, participants, you can just raise your hand. We will just admit you here, and then you can unmute and speak. Brijesh Meena has asked, where is the availability of fodder seeds in Rajasthan?
Okay, Rajasthan, thankfully, like ICAR-NIVEDI Dharwad, there is one center at Avikanagar in Jaipur, ICAR-NIVEDI regional station at Jaipur, and one central fodder and demonstration center is in, I think, Sriganganagar or one more district, Sriganganagar or nearby. These are the two places. Kazri Central Arid Zone Research Institute, Jodhpur, they are also doing seed production of Sankras, Lazarus, and all these things which are suited for arid conditions. Certainly, he can approach to those areas, and even he can approach Dharwad, he can approach ICAR-NIVEDI Jhansi. That's not at all a barrier for procuring any quality seed.
So, Dr. Deepa again asking, sir, if I will produce large quantities of seed, will your organization purchase it? If yes, then what is the procedure?
Yeah, as I told during, I explained in my lecture, that the target based production we take up. As per we every year assess the target, because one example I will give. Last year or in the current year, we failed to sell the seed according to our target because major buyers from ours, like milk federations, they have not procured the seed because of reduction in sale of milk or reduction in their revenue generation. These are all there, but yes, target based production we take up, and accordingly, as far as we commit them that yes, we procure this much of seed, we will certainly procure it. Otherwise, as I told, there are different forums, because there are different agencies who procure seed apart from ICAR-NIVEDI. State Animal Husbandry Department, they procure seed and they supply it through their as a mini kits to the through their veterinary dispensaries. Milk federations, they procure seed and they supply the seed to their society members on a subsidized price. There are so many agencies.
Okay. Sir, Mushtaba is again asking, is the production and demand of fodder seeds is saturated in Karnataka?
Fodder seed is
saturated as production and demand of fodder seed.
Not yet. Only what is the problem is that many of farmers doesn't know where seed is available, because what are the sources of purchasing the seed from to the farmer? They go to the local vendors, local seed sellers. None of the local seed sellers keep the fodder seeds. Have you ever seen any fodder seed being traded in a APMC yard? Never. Have you ever heard any minimum support price for fodder seed? No. It is highly neglected. It is not at all saturated. The thing is, yes, we need to reach to them. We need to create our market opportunities.
Sir, what is the shelf life of the seeds? Someone is asking.
Yes, as I told, the God-given blessing for these crops, they are highly viable seed. They will remain viable for at least 2, 3, 4 years.
Great.
Under ambient conditions, local storage conditions. Under protected conditions, their shelf life is still more.
I think there are no further questions.
What is the shelf life of seed?
Okay.
Agreement and a question with last time.
Sir?
Procedure.
Sir, what is the procedure for agreement? Someone is asking, sir.
Procedure for agreement is that yes, they have to approach us if they want to do the seed production in collaboration with ICAR-NIVEDI. They have to approach us, and as I told, based on our requirement, we ask them to enter into agreement, and there is a set conditions that we will take up print on a 20 rupees bond paper, stamp paper, and both the party will sign here, and the agreement MOU is ready to be implemented. That's it. Not big deal. Not big deal.
Okay. Sir, I think we have Dr. Eknath, sir. Dr. Eknath, sir. Dr. Eknath, sir. Dr. Eknath, sir. Director CIARI.
No further questions.
And payment. Sir, what is again any payment we have to do? She is asking. Sir.
Nothing. Everything, as I told, nothing to be given to ICAR-NIVEDI. Neither ICAR-NIVEDI give anything for free except technological knowledge.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a very wonderful and informative webinar. Now I request Dr. Yogesh Aradhya R, Co-PI NaaViC and Senior Technical Officer ICAR-NIVEDI to deliver the vote of thanks.
So very good afternoon to all. It's a great pleasure on behalf of ICAR-NIVEDI Agribusiness Incubation Center to propose a vote of thanks for this wonderful webinar delivered by Dr. Vinod Kumar, sir. So first of all, I thank from ICAR-NIVEDI, Dr. Vinod Kumar, sir, Principal Scientist, ICAR-IJFRI Dharwad Center for providing informative lecture on entrepreneurship opportunities in feeds and fodder. and he has answered almost all the questions of the participants. And we hope further collaboration with you, sir, as a mentor for our startups.
Thank you. I hope I tried my best to justify the topic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Majority of I have covered on seed production aspect because since I belong to that, but I tried to sensitize the audience that opportunities available in this.
So I further extend our heartfelt thanks to our director, Dr. B.R. Shom, who is providing all the facilities to conduct this webinar. Further, we thank Dr. S.P. Shivachandra, PICO of NaaViC, who is conceiving all the ideas, different ideas to propagate the information of entrepreneurship opportunities in different sectors to the budding entrepreneurs. He is also mentoring so many startups in livestock sector. Finally, I thank all the participants and staff of ICAR-NIVEDI and team NaaViC for arranging this seminar and participating. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for providing an opportunity, and hopefully all your efforts will yield into good entrepreneurs in the coming days.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Stay in touch.
Yes, sir. Certainly. Thank you, sir.